Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. This is Firoz Manji from Daraja Press. Welcome to today's show. Today we're talking to our colleagues and friends at Radio Ada in Ghana. Radio Ada is a not-for-profit community radio station of the Dangme people in the Greater Accra Region in Ghana. It has for over 2 decades supported the Ada Songo Salt social movement, leading struggles for the protection of the interest and livelihoods of the Dangme people, the indigenous people domiciled in Ada, Ghana. It is the second largest salt mine in West Africa, and like all other resources, has led to a lot of ensuing social justice struggles, with individuals targeted and persecuted due to their resistance to the privatization of their inherent rights to the land and livelihood. Noah Dameh, the deputy station coordinator of Radio Ada, is being targeted today by the Ghana police as a result of a Facebook post that attempted to draw attention to the Songo salt struggle. This is a clear act to frustrate his and other commitments to the struggle of the Ada Songo salt social movement in protecting the Dangme people's livelihood. The rights of the indigenous people are being threatened in Ada. Today, our guests include Noah Dameh, who doubles as the lead producer of Mana Munyu, a radio program dedicated to educating the indigenous peoples of Ada and on the lease of their resource to a private salt processing company, Electrochem. He is being unjustly targeted with baseless lawsuits and fabricated charges. We also have Serwa Waree, who is a brave, selfless woman committed to community development with 7 years of experience in community radio, and now news coordinator and also program producer. Amanor Dziagu is a social inclusion advocate and programs coordinator at Radio Ada with 9 years experience in community radio advocacy. And I'm hoping Julius Odoi will be with us, who is a program producer and secondary school teacher by profession, also well experienced in community radio advocacy. A warm welcome to you all. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome. So let's help us understand. I think some people will have seen the previous interview we did with you and your colleagues, and I just wonder whether we could start by you give us an idea of what the community program is trying to do, what the radio station is trying to do, and what this business about the privatization of the Salt Lake.
All right, thank you very much. Radio Ada, as you have well introduced, is a community radio, and we work with our communities. We plan, we decide, and we implement with them. And so the idea is to help promote and preserve the language and the culture of the people. And then also the resource, the Songo Lagoon resource, and many other resources like the sea, the river that God has blessed the people of Ada with, that they get their livelihood from. We as a radio believe that we have a role of ensuring that their indigenous right is not taken away from them when we help them to understand and know what their rights are. So somewhere in 2019, the state, the government, and some of the chiefs of Ada agreed on a concession that gives the entire Songo Lagoon, that measures about 158.34 square kilometers, to an investor. and the investor has not meet the requirements based on the legal processes that any company should go through before he or she or the company is awarded the concession to work in. So we as a community radio realize that the role of the community, consultations, engagements were not done before the news even came. We as a radio, it even came as a news to us that the entire concession has been given to an individual, where about 35,000 people get their livelihood from. It has been given to one individual. So where would they go from there? So we asked the traditional authorities and the government to give us the documents for which they have leased the entire concession to the company. And we have not received the documents from the chiefs, the traditional authorities. Then we moved to the government. It was the government, a minerals commission, that an NGO called Third World Network came to our interest, got the documents at an amount of 1,150 the amount is $1,500 US. I beg your pardon. $1,500 for getting the document with which the government leased the entire concession to the company. So after we got the documents from the government, then we started the Manomunyu program. Manomunyu is set to talk about current affairs in the communities, issues that are happening in the community. So we got the documents and we are serializing, explaining the documents to the people. I mean, reading the document, what the document is saying in the English language and translating it in the local Dangme language for the people to understand so that they can make informed decisions. That is all we are doing. And it got us to where we are today.
Great, great. Well, thank you for that that summary. So people in that region depend on producing salt themselves directly from the lake. Is that right? And that's the lake that's been privatized.
Yes, the Songo Lagoon is a large resource that produces not only salt. In the early rainy season, it is a source of livelihood for people who depend on fishing. So the lagoon also produces fish for the rainy season. Then in the dry season, the water in the lagoon crystallizes based on the sun heat, and it becomes salt for the same community members to also go in and win. So it is playing a dual role for a lot of people, about 45 communities that surround this lagoon.
Right. So uh, a little while back, the police raided and smashed up your studio. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And so, what have you done to protest against this?
Okay, so we have reported to the police. All the victims of the attack have filed an official complaint to the police, and we have been expecting the police to update the radio station about where they have reached with investigations. But we have not heard anything from the police as we speak now.
Why do you think that's the case?
Well, after 7 good months, we believe that the police would have come out with some findings. However, it should also be made clear that exactly 2 weeks after the attack, some community members who live around the radio station informed us that the vehicle in which the attackers came in, they are seeing a similar vehicle parked in front of the radio station. So we quickly phoned the police, and they came quickly to arrest the vehicle to the police station. And then in some few hours later, we received a call again from the police indicating that the vehicle impounded is not related to the attack and that they are coming from one of the chalets along the river Volta basin. So they are not attached or related to the attack. And so we have had a lot of evidence or suspicions that we have given to the police, and we believe that based on that, they should be able to come up with some investigations. And in our report, official report as well, we indicated that there are some individuals that have been identified during the attack. So the police should invite such persons and interrogate them. Whether they have done so or not, we have no information up to date.
Oh, so you've actually provided this information to the police.
We actually did.
So tell us more about Noah. What's happened in terms of the threats that have been made to you recently by the police?
Okay, the police asked me to write a report on the Facebook page. My post on my Facebook page, which I've posted on the 8th of May. So I did the report, and finally they said I've been officially arrested. I stayed there for about between 4 to 5 hours, and they granted me bail. They sent me to court. I appeared before court, and the court also granted me bail, a sum of 20,000 Ghana cedis, plus 2 sureties. The surety, according to the judge, she said one of them should be a civil servant that has a monthly salary of 1,000 Ghana cedis, and one other. So I was very lucky that very day. The Adansongo Lagoon Association members followed me, and we happened to get one of them who is a civil servant. So I was granted bail until recently that the police also texted me through one of my surety that I should appear before court. I went to court and the court didn't sit. The case has been adjourned to 19th of September to reappear. But the bail sum, the judge says I should report to the police every fortnight. That is every 2 weeks on Thursdays by 9 a.m. I should report to the police.
So what are you charged with?
They said initially the charge was against Electronic Act, and then they are also adding false news. When we appeared before the court, they said I published a false news. But when I was being interrogated at the police station level, the CID, Criminal Investigation Lead Commander, said it was Electronic Communication Act violation. What is difficult for me now is the court saying that I should report to the police every 2 weeks because I live in Ada and I'm working at a radio station. I have a lot of duties that I discharge every day. Community radio is about participation, participatory approach. So we go to the communities very much. And for me to be traveling all the way from Adan to Tema every 2 weeks to report to the police and also attend to court. The first appearance that we went, that has been postponed, the complainant and the police prosecutor didn't come before the case has been postponed. The complainant wasn't there. The court has been postponed before the prosecutor even came. I mustered courage to ask the prosecutor why why is it that the investigator or the criminal investigator didn't appear before court? And she was narrating some story to me. That one is personal. So this is what I've been going through.
Okay, so
And
help us
before
understand.
before the court,
Yeah.
before the court, they made me appear before the police for 3 times before they officially sent me to court. The difficulty is the travel and the frequent traffic on the way. At times I go and then return very late. This is disturbing my work as a radio broadcaster, pertaining to office duties that I must discharge.
So help our viewers understand what exactly is the violation of this electronic. What have you done wrong? What are they claiming that you've done wrong?
They said in the police statement form, they said I published a story which at the time of publication, I was aware that it was false.
So you reported on this privatization, which is a fact.
As I ask questions, it isn't a news report that I file, but on my private Facebook page, I ask some questions pertaining to the lease, and I made the heading reflection. I was reflecting on what is going on over there, but the questions are related to the inhuman activities that the company, the police, and then the company's land guards are doing against the people of Ada.
So you're being told that you are lying or you are perpetuating falsehoods. Is that right?
Yeah, that is what they are claiming.
Yeah, they claim what they allege that what I've written. I posted a picture of one Benjamin Anim who have been handcuffed on a hospital bed for 2 weeks. And then I also posted a picture of Daniel Macaulay, the one who owns the electrical company, whom the chiefs have signed a memorandum of agreement with to manage the to manage the entire concession of the Songo Salt Lagoon. So I posted these two pictures, and according to the police at the official initial investigations, they said why they asked me at the police station level, why should I post a picture of a man that has made name a powerful man in society? Why should I post his picture on Facebook? And then they asked me to write everything I know about Benjamin Anim. Benjamin Anim is part of the people that are being charged together with people who have been brutalized, arrested by Electrochem Ghana Limited. He had his his case when he was trying to defend one of the community member called Peter Nim that is being arrested, struggling with people suspected to be langars of the company. And that is what I posted. On the page, on the post, I do not write about Benjamin Anim. I do not write about Magdan, even though I mention Magdan's name in the post, but I do not say anything about Benjamin Anim. I remember the police also asked me where I had Benjamin Anim's photo from. Okay, I did not disclose it to them, but Benjamin Anim photo is very viral in the community, because when the issues started, a group of lawyers who are into human rights organized a press conference, and then they told the whole community, they told the press, and then they made Benjamin Anim to narrate the ordeal he went through at the community level, um, at the police, and then at the hospital. So I Benjamin Anim's photo is all over in demonstrations, and even um, the the press conference that the lawyers in Ghana have organized.
So this, what's the implication of this in terms of freedom of expression of the media? I mean, it goes beyond just ADA, doesn't it? It's about your right to express your views uh, in public.
Okay, so given a background of the issue, it is not about Noah's um, um, right to express his views. It's about Radio Adan, because when we started the program, the chiefs of Adan came. One chief is called Nenelomo the Fourth. He came in the capacity of the Adan Traditional Council, and then the secretary of the paramount chief. And they asked Radio Adan, they asked the Manomunyu production team to put a stop to the program. That very day, the secretary even made mention that a lot of people are out there that are planning to attack us if we continue to speak about the Songo Lagoon. And he was calming down them. And if we do not stop broadcasting the document, broadcasting the issues on the Songo Lagoon, and he asked them to come and attack us, then we should know that things will not go well with us. So they came, they want to gag the radio station, they want the radio station not to say anything about it. And even a lawyer from Electrochem even wrote to the radio station that we should stop discussing the document. So it is not about Noah Dameh. It is not about what I posted on the Facebook, but it is about their attempt to silence the radio station so that they can do whatever they like to the marginalized people, the voiceless people in society.
Right, right. I'm uh, I'm speaking to members of Radio Ada in Ghana who have been facing attacks. For those who are able to, our colleague Rodrigo Paradella has shared with us the link here to a petition to help Noah on this issue. Okay, let me understand again what exactly is the situation in terms of the relationship between the chiefs, Electrochem, and the police.
Okay. It came to a time when the chiefs introduced Dr. Macaulay at the festival Deba ground, that they have conferred a title called a development chief on him. They call it No Yami Mache, a development chief. So they conferred that title on him, and soon after that, we got to know that he has been given the lagoon to manage. So Dr. Macaulay, they call it Dr. Macaulay, and then in the business world, they know him as McDan. We know he has been donating to the Traditional Council. He has been supporting the Traditional Council. One evidence is that the land guards went to brutalize the people of Tufloku. They shot at them, they kidnapped their chief, and then they handcuffed their chief, dragged him on the ground, and then sent their chief away on the 16th of December. So everybody in the town were expecting the paramount chief to speak against this inhuman activity of the company and the leadership. But that very day, that very week, the company went with a vehicle to donate the vehicle to the paramountcy, to the paramount chief. So yes, so and people are asking that if the local community members have been shot and wounded, who is entitled to benefit a vehicle as a donation? Must the people be wounded and then someone else receiving the reward for that? These are the questions that we raise. So the chiefs and the leadership, the 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 executive officer of the company are very fine.
Right. Perhaps we can hear from Serwa Waree.
Serwa
Yeah,
Waree.
yeah. Perhaps she could tell us about sort of community response to these attack on Radio.
Okay, so ever since this started, there has been division in the community because there are parts of community members who are politically friendly with the investor currently. So in Adan West District, there's this kind of division amongst the youth, some youth groups in Adan West, precisely. And also in Adan East, where the radio station is situated, there are few people, let me say, people who are friends with the one of the queen mothers, who is also a friend to the investor. Those people, so it looks like a family kind of thing. If the investor has a friend, then automatically the friends to that person also has to support it. But the community at large is not in support of what is happening. Just that sometimes people feel intimidated that, look, what we are doing, we are fighting a political fight, and currently it is believed that their president is on the seat, so they can do anything in quotes they want to the people. But the people are not happy with what is going on.
So are you getting sufficient support from the community itself? I mean, there
Say
are some
again.
who, if I understood what you're saying, some who are not willing to support you, and others who are.
Yeah, so what is happening is the investor happens to be a politician, a political person in Ghana. And so he has few people in his party who feel, okay, if our party member is doing something, whether good or bad, we need to give that person the full support. So there are people there are some, like a handful of people who are in support. But I can say, or we can say that 90% of the people are not happy with what is happening.
Right. Okay. So you've had links with Third World Network Africa, Yao Graham and his team. What other connections are you making to provide this kind of solidarity that's needed to support NOAA and the radio station?
Well, one of the things we are critical about is the solidarity from our communities that we serve. Once they are in support of what we are doing, it is encouragement for us. I remember on the 22nd of August, that's Monday, when Noah went to the court the second time, a number of the association members from the Adan Songo Lagoon Association were present at the court. And from Adan to where the court is situated, it's about 2 hour journey that should be about 50 kilometer distance. They travel all the way to the court in solidarity with Noah, and their numbers alone is encouraging. It's encouraging. We also have the Ghana Journalists Association also coming on board and giving us all the motivation that we are doing what the press is meant to be. So we should go on, but we should be professional, more professional, and also allow the system. We should not kind of veer away from what we are doing, but we should continue. Then your own self and your media and your listeners are also a source of motivation for us, that at least there are a lot of people outside Adan, outside Ghana, that are also appreciating that people should be given access to information, which is their basic human right. And so we are so grateful for that. Now I want to add something.
And also, we have this translocal learning. We have the translocal learning movement. Our friends from the north are also supporting us, and then even across the globe, South Africa, etc. They are all in support. The Ghana Community Radio Network, they are also there. They are also giving us support, especially the community members. We hold majority of the community members on our side. Those who are for the company, they are not organic. Their decision to belong or to toe the line of the company, the line of the chief or the line of the lease, they are not organic. They are not organic in a way that some of them they have been persuaded to do that for what you get, because a lot of them have received monies, a lot of them have received cars, and even the chiefs who signed the agreement. If you look at the agreement, the company mentioned many things. If you consider those things, it is nothing to address the need of the local folks whose livelihood is solely on the Songosot Lagoon. One of the things that the agreement mentioned as a benefit to the traditional authorities is that the electrochem company will construct office complexes for the chiefs, for all the clans, at where they want the office complex to be placed. Also, the electrochem company will provide support to the Asafotu Fiamin Festival, the yearly festival. So how would a building, an office complex, affect positively the livelihood of the people in the area? These are the questions that we have been raising. Before Electrochem came in, we have had Asafotu from the we just celebrated 85th anniversary. So how did the community organize the Asafotu Fiamin Festival in the past 84 years? Before now, they have leased the Songo Lagoon or exchanged the Songo Lagoon to a festival. How that office premise affect the people, and why should they take all the resource for one person to manage? These are the questions that we ask.
Yeah. So can you say a little bit more about Electrochem? Who are they?
Okay, Electrochem don't have any track record, either in book or by physical evidence. Because according to the CEO, he said he needed salt to buy. He went to the factory and he couldn't get the salt as he expected. So he went quickly to facilitate a license to win the salt or to produce the salt. So they are not even they don't even have 1 year or 6 months experience in salt production. If you come to Adan now, if you go to the Songo Lagoon, um, the company has dug trenches, holes into the in the Songo Lagoon, prevented everybody from the Songo Lagoon. So from the year 2020, none of the Adan citizens have entered into the Songo Lagoon to produce salt. So if you come to the local market now, the price of salt is even going high. What the Ghana government is saying is that they are giving the salt power to one person. And if you give the salt power to one person, you are making that person to control the power of salt. The petrochemical industry, we know the petrochemical industry rely on salt. So even if you give this power to Magdan, you are you are telling us that you are handling the power of the petrochemical industry to one person to control. And giving the salt to one person to control is like giving a power to one political party to control till the coming 15 years. The lease that have been given by Magdan at the parliament says 15 years. But what the chiefs have signed, the memorandum of agreement that the chiefs have signed, and we have the copies, it is 50 years, subject for renewal for additional 25 years. So must the salt communities sit for the coming 75 years? What would they eat? We have seen some irregularities in this thing, and that is why we are speaking about that. That is the struggle. That is
So
now we are past advocacy. It is a struggle because it's about life and death. People have been shot, people have been wounded. Even today, what is today's day? Today, a group of people from Adan have appeared before court today. A group, they have 4 groups, numbering 10, 15, 17, 19. And then they have been going to court every day. So today they appeared before court today in Tema. And every week you will see a group of people moving from Adan to court. And transport alone is taking them 800 cities every appearance day. They go and they do what they call their marking register because of the bill that they granted them. When the court date reach, they go and then present themselves to the court, and then they will just call them and mark the register for them. It is a way of draining the pocket of the local folks. And even what is compounding the issue for them is that they are no more allowed to go into the salt lagoon to collect salt. And the company has pumped water into the lagoon. So the lagoon is not crystallizing for them to even go.
Wow. Wow. So
these are the people who are charged by the police for protesting against a company that has taken over their livelihood and has not given them any chance to live, even in the communities that they used to be peace. They live in without any intimidation. That's why they are going to court every now and then.
right. So I mean, Ghana, if I recall, has is party to the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In particular, I mean, the threats that are being faced in terms of sections of those declarations on the rights of indigenous people, and Article 19, of course, of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. What's been the response of the oh dear, I seem to have lost our guests. Let me see if we can get in touch with them again. They've dropped out. It's probably internet connections. Let me send them a quick message. Just sending a quick email to see if they can come back on, or if not, then we will just have to call the show to an end. But I think while we're waiting for them, I think Rodrigo Paradella's reminder about the petition, the international petition that has been set up, the details of which are here, and will be found on the chat as well. And I would encourage everyone to not only sign this petition, but get all their friends, comrades, and others that they know to sign up. Given the fact that these are major breaches of the declarations of human rights, indigenous rights, please encourage your local Amnesty, Human Rights Watch, or other human rights organizations to become involved in this work. Well, it looks like we've lost our dear comrades from Radio Ada. But I'd like to thank all of you for having joined us today, and let us hope that there will be a sufficient international outcry against these attacks on both NOAA, but also on the radio station, but in particular the community of indigenous people who depend on the Salt Lagoon. And hopefully a petition will help the momentum to prevent the privatization of the lagoon by Electrochem. So this is Feroz Manji signing off for today. I'm sorry that we got interrupted and lost connections, but I hope you will share this video around as far as you can. Thank you for joining us today, and I wish you all the best. Hope you keep well and safe.